Hi peaches, it's Shaaba, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. Come in, take a seat, get ready for our weekly installment of Am I the A-hole? That's right. Every Monday we take a look at the subreddit Am I the A-hole? We expose ourselves to some problems that other people are facing because there's a little bit of juicy drama, because we can hopefully help a couple people out, maybe the original posters, maybe people going through something similar, and most importantly, we can expand our own mindsets too, because we can learn so much from the storytelling of others. I'm feeling a little feisty today, you have been warned. Without further ado, shall we dive into the assholes? Let's go. Am I the asshole for not giving my co-worker my day off because I want to play a video game? So anyone in the video game world knows that next week the new Legend of Zelda game comes out after like 5+ years of waiting. By the time you're watching this video, the Legend of Zelda game would have already come out. I do film my videos a couple weeks in advance, but I am aware of the hype. I'm excited for the hype. I too would like to play the game. I understand you, OP. I'm a massive fan. When the release date was revealed, I immediately requested PTO, paid time off, for that date, as I plan on staying home that day and enjoying the new game. What I didn't realise was that the day I asked off is for the Friday before Mother's Day. What is Mother's Day? Next week? No, it's American Mother's Day. Okay, crisis averted for me anyway. My company has to limit the request off for that date now, as many people have been asking for it off. I previously told some co-workers I was planning on staying home to play the game, and I guess word got round because one of my other co-workers asked me after work to give her my PTO so she can travel for Mother's Day. So it's the day before Mother's Day. You've already booked it off, and now someone else is like, hey, Mother's Day is going to be the day after. I didn't book it off. I can't book it off because it's now being limited. Give me your day so I can travel to my important next day. I explained to her that I requested this day off months ago for a specific reason and I really wasn't willing to change it. She got pretty upset with me, claiming that I care more about video games than family and whatnot. Let me just correct that. OP cares more about their personal experience than a stranger's family. Right? I honestly don't care about her not being able to travel because I feel like if this was an important date, you would have requested it off early like I did. Anyway, I firmly told her no, but she told some of my other co-workers and they're pissed at me and calling me an asshole for not giving up the date. Am I the asshole? I respect the bluntness of, look, if they wanted it off, they could have asked for it early. I don't care. I don't feel bad. My immediate reaction is to say no, you are not the asshole. And it's for a very simple reason. If you want time off for anything and you've booked it and it's yours, it's not for someone else to dictate whether you should have that. You are absolutely right in that if the other person wanted time off, they could have booked it earlier. If they're now not able to take that time off, that's not your problem. They shouldn't be angry at you. They should be angry at the company for limiting how many people can take that time off. That's not a you problem, that's a them problem, and that's a them problem with the company problem. My only niggle that I'm wanting to unpack is, was it arseholey that you told people what were you doing your time off? No, but it was arseholey for her to then see what you're doing and then pit you against your other co-workers, because that's just mean. Why would you do that? Why would you tell people a story that makes you seem like you are more deserving of time off, when the reality is, just because you prioritize something doesn't mean that other people have to have the same priorities. For you, person trying to steal OP's day off, family is important. Can I say family is in on the day, right? You can still travel up that evening after work. If you really needed that day off, you should have booked it earlier. OP is totally right. And if something doesn't work out that way, it's just a date. You can celebrate it the day after. Guess what? Mother's Day, it can be a weekend. At the end of the day, that's your problem. That's not OP's problem. But what is a problem, and what I really dislike, is when you think you're all high and mighty because your plans are more important than someone else's. Just because you don't value video games doesn't mean that someone else shouldn't. So yeah, OP, you are not the asshole. I am very strong with my verdict on that one. And maybe this will make you think twice about sharing, what you're doing with your time off with other people. But I don't think it should, because you're very entitled to talk about things that excite you and share something when you went through the right process. I would have told her I care about my family more than video games. Your family, not so much. Her family is not your responsibility. She should have planned better, not the asshole. Even if you did know it was Mother's Day and you still prioritize video games, that's okay too. It's not because of family is over video games. It's because you are entitled to take time off to do whatever you want to do. I think we need to unstigmatize that fully. This month of May, we have multiple bank holidays, and for the first time ever, we are not working them and we are not planning anything. We've had requests from friends or families be like, come for dinner. We're like, no, we are just going to blob. Doing nothing is sometimes the best something. And if I really needed that time off and someone else told me, oh, I want to travel to see my mum for Mother's Day, so you should give me your day, Go away. Your poor planning does not constitute an emergency for me. Not the arsehole, and don't tell anyone why you want time off anymore. I've worked for folks that play the justification game when it comes to proving PTO, and it's infuriating. I'm so sorry that that happens in workplaces. I hate the fact that that's even a thing, and I don't want you to think that you can't share your plans with people. In this capitalist society, we often see our colleagues more than we see our family and friends, particularly if we travel or commute to offices, and particularly if we don't work for ourselves. And so to think that you have to walk on eggshells and play some strategic game with the people who are around you, there's a problem with the system there, not the individuals who use it. Keep that in mind. Shall we move on? Am I the arsehole for leaving my number on the bill? So I, a 26-year-old man, went out for dinner last night with a few friends. We were at this pretty nice restaurant, and our waitress, a woman, early 20s, caught my eye as soon as we sat down. I thought she was really cute and had a great sense of style. Her outfit was really unique and just seemed to suit her perfectly. At this point, I'm trying to determine if that's cute or creepy, and I cannot tell just yet. Anyway, throughout the night, she was really friendly and attentive, and I couldn't help but keep noticing her. After a while, I decided to go for it and compliment her on her outfit. I said something like, "Hey, I just wanted to say that you look really cute tonight and your outfit is amazing. It suits you so well." She seemed to take the compliment well, smiling and thanking me. Later on, as we were finishing up our meal, I decided to write my number on the receipt and leave it for her, just in case she was interested in talking more or even going on a date. When I handed her the receipt, I told her, "I hope this isn't too forward, but I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight and thought you might like to get in touch if you're interested." She took the receipt and thanked me, but I noticed her smile seemed a bit forced this time. I figured maybe she wasn't interested, and that was fine. I didn't want to push her or make her feel uncomfortable. After we left the restaurant, my friends told me that what I did was inappropriate and that I shouldn't have put her on the spot like that at her workplace. They said it's not okay to hit on service workers who are just trying to do their job. I genuinely didn't mean any harm, and I thought I was being polite and respectful about it. Am I the asshole? This is so interesting. I'm very strong with my verdict on this one, but before I do, I want to caveat this because I feel like sometimes people get a bit heated in the comments. When we hand out these badges of you're the asshole, not the asshole, everybody sucks here, we're not saying that person is an actual asshole. It's the system in which you determine if it was right or wrong. And the second thing that's always worth reminding is that this isn't a is what I did here legal, it's an is what I did here acceptable by society standards. Let's have a chat about what is reasonable, right? Keeping both of those things in mind, yes, OP, you are the asshole. I totally see how throughout this post what you're saying is very reasonable, and how from your point of view you just saw someone who seemed really friendly and you seemed to really like, and you were very kind about it. You can have the best of intentions, but this is a really great lesson on privilege, and I'm really hoping, I mean, we'll take a look at what the forum says afterwards, but that the conversations that you learn from this will help you grow as a person and realize that the different experiences that we all have in life makes some things that might otherwise seem reasonable not be okay in certain situations, this being one of them. When you work in retail or hospitality as some form of waiting or serving staff, it is their literal job to be kind to you. We've all seen those memes with the air hostesses who are like, yes, when really what they want to be doing is like, sit down and leave me alone. That, coupled with the fact that unfortunately we live in a society where a woman just being nice can somehow be misconstrued into being flirtatious, because these are the gender roles that we put on. This is the idea of like power dynamics that, oh, if a girl pays me attention and smiles at me, that must mean that she's into me. It's one of those occasions of that's just not how girls work, and it's not necessarily the fault of the guy like OP in this situation where this is happening for misconstruing it. It's for not being able to read the societal message that says just because a girl's nice to you doesn't mean she's into you. Girls can be nice without having an additional ulterior motive. Girls can be nice without it having to lead to something else where a girl is then in some way benefiting you. And if you disagree with what I'm saying right now, what you're doing is speaking from a place of privilege where you've not been on that other end, where you don't have a label on you as woman, as person of colour, as whatever, that tells you that being an equal human isn't enough because somehow you, just because of the skin that you happen to fall in, are built to serve someone else beyond just an equal having a conversation. It's just one of those unlearning things that we need to do. And I think it's a really promising sign that OP's come to this forum and has asked, because clearly there's a part of him that's really willing to learn. Also, a brownie badge for OP's friends for bringing this up as a conversation and being like, oh, this isn't cool, and explaining why, because this is a conversation that needs to happen more. Because if you put yourself in that position of the waitress, which granted OP didn't know but can be told now to know not to do it again, I'm certain that waitress has probably hit on so many times throughout a day. Even if it's not consciously, it's an unconscious, you're being kind to me, you are therefore you're going to benefit me in some other way. That is literally the power dynamic that exists between a man and a woman. The reality is the outfit that they're wearing is either one, a uniform, or two, something that they've done because they like to wear it, not because they want to please other people. The reality is, if they're smiling, being friendly, it's because it is their job to do that, not because they're specifically trying to reach out and make you notice them. And it can be really difficult in these kind of scenarios because of that power imbalance. You are a stranger that's come into a place that they have no control but to be for the longest time, and you might have fantastic intentions, OP, but other people do not, and they don't know if you have good intentions. They don't know that if they reject your advance or don't call you back or whatever, how do they know that you're not going to come by their workplace every single day to harass them and ultimately could potentially risk their livelihood, meaning they'll have to find a different job, meaning that they'll lose their community and their sense of, we just spoke about how important workplace camaraderie is and how much time we spend there, right? What I'm trying to say is that power dynamic exists in so many different ways that it's just best to leave it be. She seemed to take the compliment well, smiling and thanking me. You are a customer. What is she supposed to do? Throw a drink in your face? You are the arsehole, whether you meant to be or not. Please do not go back to apologise or otherwise contact her. You've already put her in an uncomfortable spot. Totally agree. We need to understand that as beings, we can make other people feel uncomfortable regardless of our intentions. So interesting. Just in case some people on here might be thinking like OP, like, oh, what is a big deal? This is a big deal. OP is the reason I tell my baristas to give a fake name when asked. Nothing like making your server, barista, bartender feel uncomfortable at their job. Every weekend night, I will get at least one drunk marriage proposal. I lie so many times about having a boyfriend to customers because it was just easier than saying no, especially as a petite 20-year-old working with one equally petite 17-year-old. I started working at a smoothie place at 14 and was asked out by adult men at least 3 times a shift. It was really confronting because I was quite innocent at 14, and at the beginning I just tell them that I was 14, but surprise, surprise, it didn't deter many. So my co-worker helped by pretending to be my boyfriend. I was just thinking of putting a ring on my finger for my bartender job. OP, you are the arsehole, 100%. All of this to show just how many times waitstaff, particularly waitresses, have to deal with this. Someone else said, yeah, if they had good back and forth during the evening and he'd written his number on the check with a note that said, you're cute, call me, it would be not the arsehole. I'm not sure if then it would be not the arsehole. I kind of feel like it's a good idea in these situations because of those power dynamics to, if you're genuinely feeling vibes, like strong vibes that someone's into you, that a waitstaff is into you, let them leave you their number. Because the power dynamic the other way around, you can walk off into the existence, you never have to come back to that restaurant again. But yeah, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this one. In this scenario, would OP not be the arsehole? Let me know downstairs in the comments section. Alright, anyway, I think that was a useful learning moment. Shall we do one more? Am I the arsehole for pulling the cancer card to shame someone and draw attention to myself at a party? 7 years ago, I had cervical cancer, which wreaked havoc on my life in a lot of ways. Perhaps stupidly, I was more upset about losing my hair than I was my fertility, at least at first. There's nothing stupid about that. I used to have long hair, rarely even cut it, but shaved it during the course of chemo. Even after treatment, after remission, I found that I felt empowered by my new hairstyle, mostly what it meant to me, and I kept it short. Recently, I've been diagnosed with vaginal cancer. Thankfully, we caught it early, so hopes are high, but I won't lie that I'm not upset that this is happening to me again. Understandably. This upset has led me to be tetchy. My brother and his new girlfriend and newborn flew in for a visit for the first time since the baby was born. This is the first time in years that we've seen him except for video calls because they're out of the country now. She's a sweetheart, but kind of blunt. Over the course of the party, she pointed out that my haircut made my face look round, but that's the chemo causing fluid build-up. She also asked me multiple times if I was sure I didn't want a drink, mostly because she was getting herself one. She also said I was very confident to avoid wearing jewellery with such short hair. It's giving me the vibes of someone who is very much lacks social skills or potentially is on the spectrum. I just got sick of answering the questions about my lack of alcohol, about my haircut, about my face, so I snapped, admittedly. After she commented about my hair again, I said, I have cancer, very bluntly and too loudly. Many people overheard, which caused many eyes to turn onto us. My brother took me aside after everyone else had left the house and his girlfriend was in the car. He said I made a scene. He expressed his sympathy that I was dealing with cancer again, but he said that he wished I chose a better time to reveal it because it took away from him and his family's announcements. Babe, you are not the arsehole. Your brother is a huge arsehole in this scenario. I don't think his girlfriend is necessarily an arsehole because she didn't know. It really depends on more information, I think, about how she reacted afterwards. If she was like, oh, I'm very sorry, and she stopped asking you such personal questions or saying statements that just reasonably you shouldn't be saying to people. Oh, wear more jewellery because of your haircut. Oh, your hairstyle that you have chosen for your body is wrong for your face. Like, who are you? Why would anyone say that to anyone? For your brother to say that you should have just been putting up with things and that, oh, I'm sorry, but surely you could have inconvenienced us with your news of this life-changing issue for you at a more convenient time. That doesn't wash with me. Your brother is super assholey. Your brother should not be bringing any of that up at all and should genuinely be understanding. If all you said was, I have cancer, I don't understand what's wrong. You were being factually correct. You were saying something to someone and in a way that shut down a conversation in an environment that you were very uncomfortable in. You know, like, your brother should be apologizing to you for the discomfort that you were feeling, not asking you to have not said what you said. No. Not okay. The audacity, the gall, the gumption. I don't get it. Not the asshole. She was being pushy about details. You gave her an answer. The only assholes in this situation are your brother and his wife. Yeah, like, how dare you ruin my party with your cancer? All I did was call you ugly. Why are you being so mean by having cancer again at such an inconvenient time? Often I don't like when I see these comments on Reddit because I'm like, wow, Reddit, you are so mean. But you know what? It's a really fantastic exercise that I think we could all benefit from partaking in from time to just see things from the other point of view. Sometimes we can say one thing with the best of intentions, but they're heard in a different way. And being able to see all the different ways in which what you say could have been interpreted might help you understand why someone has acted the way that they have acted. There is always a reason. People don't act buttholey or tetchy just for the sake of it. There is always a reason. Sounds exactly like my autistic son. He'd say things not realising that it was a social no-no. But again, I think the brother's the only asshole here. Let me know your thoughts, my loves, downstairs in the comments section. Did you enjoy today's one? I feel like it was a little bit spicy. Maybe I was just spicy. Who knows? If you did enjoy this video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll catch you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.